Today, the FT, the Financial Times, said the euro in peril. Let us save the euro, and how terrible the euro is because there is over £836 billion in deficit. Well, at the same time this was happening, the US published its annual gross outstanding debt, and as of October 10th, 2010, the total public outstanding debt was approximately 94% of annual income of annual GDP, that's gross domestic product, for the United States. In real term figures, that is $13.616 trillion. Which fucking figure is bigger, Financial Times? You're supposed to be economists. At the same time, the Federal Reserve has gone into another spate of quantitative easing, and gold rose by over $20. Why is this happening? Why is the Federal Reserve making economic war on its own people? Why is it making economic war on on Europe? And why is it only Bin Laden's and China who are profiting? And also India. Why? Because India and China have vast reserves of gold, as do the Bin Ladens, and Saudi Arabia have vast amounts of gold stored. And also another crazy point in all of this is that the euro is backed by gold and silver, as well as energy and food production. So the Federal Reserve is crazy because it's actually helping its competitors. It's not only helping its competitors, which is a friendly rivalry between the EU and the United States. Let's face it, it is a rivalry. But they are helping the Bin Ladens by proxy. Why are they doing this? It doesn't make any rational sense. They're creating more US bonds, treasury bonds, to get people to invest in the United States. Okay? That's one possible reason why they're producing another spate of quantitative easing. That is printing more money. But the only people who've got the money to do it are the oil barons and the oil mafias, are the Bin Ladens and Saudis and the Yemenis and Qatar, and also even Iran has some money left, although the sanctions are hurting Iran, and also Iran is squaring off to Iraq, which is the United States basically squaring off against Iran because the United States is controlling part of Iraq. Okay, but the Iranians are also fighting to control Iraq within OPEC. So the only reason that the Fed is exporting or its inflation out through the oil markets and through these treasury bonds, which the oil barons are picking up, is for some short-term gain. And it's been on this short-term gain system for much longer than anyone can remember, since Greenspan was in. And Ben Bernanke is following the same trajectory. He's just going to pass the torch on to someone else. It's Fedonomics. It's economics that the Federal Reserve uses that makes no sense at all. Whereas the ECB at the present time has not done quantitative easing. The Fed is using inflation to try and stimulate their economy. That's one point that the Financial Times put forward. But nobody wants to buy American products. A lot of American products are not being bought by Americans, and Americans are very patriotic. They do not like foreign cars. If you go to the United States, you cannot park in some car parks unless you have an American built vehicle. But they can't sell their cars abroad because other countries are producing more energy efficient, more green cars, more high-tech equipment. In South Korea, they have high-speed broadband, and their buildings and bridges are not falling down from disrepair. But in the United States, they are. So people are not buying your goods. People are buying European machine tools to build
Chinese factories and to produce Chinese goods. So that's the flow that is going around the world. The machine tools are being built in Europe, and the cheap goods are being built in China and sold on to America. And America is then flooding Southeast Asia and China with this money. And it's also going into the Islamic banking system, which the Bin Ladens will use to fund Al Qaeda and the ISI in Pakistan. And at the same time, you've got the Chinese investing everywhere. The Chinese are investing even with the Saudi royal family, then the Egyptians, which the Americans must know about, in the Suez Canal. So is this some kind of economic war where America will get into bed with anyone, even people who have killed its own citizens? Right? Or I say the Fed will get into bed with anyone. You know, the Bin Ladens did 9/11. Why is the Fed producing more money into flooding the money, US petrodollars, into the petrodollar system, where the Bin Ladens are just going to use it to wash their money through the Islamic banking system to provide them with more money? This is treason. The Federal Reserve is committing treason against the United States people. And this is what I cannot understand. All right? Why are they doing this? So please, send it in. Tell me why you think this is. Because Ben Bernanke just doesn't seem to make any sense to me at all. His whole economic strand is ludicrous. And Europe has to do something because we are being encircled here. We've got the Middle East in chaos. Ahmadinejad is visiting Lebanon, which could cause another war between Israel and Iran. You've got Iran and the United States squaring up to each other, and Iran against Saudi Arabia. And if any country was strategically placed to help the world at the moment, it is Iran. We need a democratic Iran, and one that is engaged, and that may be an EU candidate country, so that we can get our troops supplied from Iran and from Russia, because Pakistan has closed the border to Afghanistan, and it's just complete chaos at the moment. We've already lost 4 troops. All the figures that I've said come from Wikipedia, and you can check them yourself. Thanks for listening.